on why, again, why they're doing it. Rarely would I hear anybody say, because it feels good. I mean, I don't think they say that too much in San Ramon, and I don't think it would make much sense at a shareholders meeting to say, wait, did that feel good, that decision? But there are ultimate benefits to the company, if for no other reason that you're coming up with a balanced economy in a country in which it then is much easier to operate as a business in a balanced, sustained economy. The fact that you've got more people working, it may not come to the bottom line of the company right away, but ultimately will prove beneficial. And I said, just in building brand, you have a tremendous benefit, whether you call it CSR or not. The fact that you want to be working there in 20 years, and maybe, I don't think Chevron's going to open too many gas stations in Nigeria, but it could open them in Gabon next year. It'd be nice to have a good corporate name when you're making those decisions. So there's a lot of drivers even within CSR, but I think it's really important to point out, in most of our experience, CSR is not the driver.
So, Paul, let me put you on the spot and ask you to answer the two questions, one on global agricultural policy, which I'm sure is an easy question to answer, but if you could also talk about the sustainability and the supply chain question that came up earlier, if I could put you, if you'd be willing to touch on those.
Easier on the tough first one.
Okay.
The global agriculture policy environment is obviously impacting, and it's led by the U.S., and for my implementation partners around the room, they can share in my embarrassment as we are going around the world pushing for transparency and free trade and reduced subsidies. Every now and then someone points back at the U.S. Farm Bill and reminds us about that principle of not subsidy. Personally, ACD Avoca supports others who deal with that big, monstrous issue. There's an excellent global food and agriculture policy program called the AGREE Project. I serve on an advisory council to it. They wrestle with that. From the U.S. agriculture sector farm bill aspect, my contribution is to remind them that when they stamp their feet here, the ripples are felt in Mali's cotton industry or elsewhere. CSIS, IFPRI, the Food Policy Research Institute, the Center for Global Development, they have expert teams to take on those big issues. I've learned to not tilt at the windmills, but